What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are here for the 5 takeaways of the match. We just did a watch-along on Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich in the DFB-Pokal, which was a unbelievably surprising match. I did it because it was a match that happened so early on in the Pokal that I thought was going to be entertaining, and it was exactly that. So I did the watch-along, and I really want to do a 5 takeaways to get your guys' opinion, especially you Bayern fans out there, because it was just incredible to see what happened out there. So let's just jump right into it with my very first takeaway. My first takeaway is the hot start that Gladbach had. They were absolutely incredible. They didn't give that recognition to Bayern where they were going to almost like sit off and allow Bayern to play their game. They knew that they were the home side. They knew that they were in a cup competition that is their only real opportunity because they're not playing European football. This is the opportunity for them to win something, and they wanted to prove it, and they took the game to Bayern right away, and it was incredible. The passing, the movement, just the absolute communication between the units that was both from the back to the midfield to the attack. It was flawless. That's all. The only word you could really use it was flawless, and they went at Bayern, they got that league, and they held on to it. It was just a completely overwhelming, proud performance if you're a Gladbach fan out there to then beat Bayern and move on to the next round. It was incredible. Second takeaway we're going to take a look at is Bayern. Primarily their back four. Now, I thought their back four was all over the place right from the get-go, but I mean, I don't want to single him out on his birthday. Upamecano, man, I am sorry, but that was one of the most dodgy performances I've ever seen. I mean, the holes between the two center backs were atrocious, and the 5-0 scoreline, massive as is, could have been worse. There was 2, 3, 4 massive opportunities that Gladbach could have used, especially Embolo, to put this game away even earlier, and they just kept running and running at this back four, and it wasn't there. It really wasn't. Upamecano, unfortunately, on his birthday, was the poorest person on the pitch, and hey, you came off a man of a match performance. You were still young. You will be inconsistent. It's just, unfortunately, tonight was a big part of some of the goals that Gladbach scored, got yanked off, and it wasn't just him because Hernandez was poor, Pavard was non-existent, Davies kind of turned the ball over in that first one, if you wanted to look at it that way. Didn't have the best performance either. It was a really tough performance from the back four, which would be concerning for Nogsman. My third takeaway, guys, we're going to jump over to Eli Nogsman, who wasn't there because of COVID. And I don't have too much to put in, but I want to put it out to you guys out there. What's your opinion? Do you think if Nogsman was indeed on the touchline, it would have made a difference? We had some people in the chat saying that Bayern would have came out more alive, more energy, really took it to them, but it wasn't really the case, and he wasn't there. So I'm just curious. I don't really have a take. I do think no matter what, I don't think Nogsman would have really saved this result, but I'm curious to see if you guys thought if Nogsman was indeed on the touchline, if he didn't have COVID, would Bayern have had a better chance? My fourth takeaway, guys, is Jonas Hoffman, and I want to really single him out because I thought he was incredible. A player I'm very, very familiar with. He was playing in that 3-4-2-1 system, which Adi Hüttner, in my opinion, is his best system as well. And he's been playing at the center attacking mid with Stindl, and he looked incredible. The movement off the ball, he's such a technically gifted and creative center attacking midfielder. He needs to play in that roaming kind of role where he can get the ball in places where he's going to find success. And he did that. He found the flanks. The two fullbacks today, a big shout out to Joe Scally, who I thought was incredible as well. They really ran at Bayern and allowed that freedom down the sides for Hoffman to play just exactly what he wanted to do. He was good from set pieces. He was good from a creative standpoint today. He was a real leader on the pitch. I really can't talk up Jonas Hoffman enough, and this performance today is just so deserving of a player who's been right around that verge of whether he's going to take that next step in his career, but he's at that age where these performances are hopefully just coming on, and he can kind of see out the remainder of his career putting in these type of performances, because on the eyes today, he was by far my man of the match. And guys, my fifth and final takeaway is just taking a look at the Pokal. This is why this competition is beautiful. Last season, Bayern, and I don't want to turn this into a Bayern mentality point because it's supposed to be about the Pokal, but last year, we know what Bayern's mentality is like. It's to win everything. And the Champions League and the Bundesliga will always be number 1 and 2, and you can probably argue the Champions League's number 1, but the Pokal is always something they kind of expect to compete with. And last year, getting knocked out against Holstein Kiel, a second division side, was rubbing them the wrong way. You kind of think that this year they would want to take that step to be like, okay, we can't repeat that. But not only did they lose out to a very tough opposition in Gladbach, but they lost out 5-0 and had a toothless and very poor defensive performance today. So it's a real eye opener, but it does show the the drive and the pull that a competition can have, because Bayern can be as good as they want to be all season long and take home a Bundesliga title. They could potentially get 10 in a row this year. But when it comes to the Pokal, these are the type of competitions that you got to be perfect every single time, because if you're not and you slip up, you're out, and you're dumped out this early, and Bayern dumped out on back-to-back, guys. So those are my 5 takeaways from one of the most wild games I've watched so far. I really want to hear what you guys have to think. Let me know what you think about my 5 takeaways. Let me know if you guys have any takeaways of yourself, and be sure to let me know, because I'm curious to see some Bayern fans out there what their perspective was on this match. I really enjoyed everyone tuning in for the 5 takeaways, and I hope you guys enjoyed the match watch along as well. And if you guys are new around here, be sure to drop a like, be sure to drop a sub as well. We're getting very close to 6,000 subscribers, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers, friends.